Hey, everybody. I am so grateful for this platform and this opportunity to teach you a life skill that I never learned in high school or college. It's all about finances. So this is day 1 of 10, how to invest in the stock market. And yes, I'll try to go as quickly as possible, but you've got to understand there's a lot to learn. And even though I'm going to go all out, there's still so much to learn after this. So here, hopefully, is a preview of what you need to know about investing and about the stock market. Once again, this is our first day of 10 days of finances throughout students' winter break this winter. So please join us for the rest. I'm so excited. Best tips for success before we begin. Number 1, please watch all 10 videos offered. To get a whole picture of how finances will play a role in your life, you're going to need to know all 10 of these topics. Number 2, put aside some time, about 10 minutes a day, to learn and watch these videos and to really take in all that I want to teach you. Find a dedicated place to study, a place that is free of distraction, and a place where you can just learn and listen and write down notes. And going into it, please use the free notes that I've provided. During these 2 weeks, they will be linked below in the descriptions. Please take a look at that. And if you do all 10 days, you will get an online certificate from me emailed to you, all right, at the end of this. All right. And I hope that this inspires you once again to do more research to learn even more about finances. Let's begin. All right. So day 1 of 10, how to invest in the stock market. So what is the stock market? For those of you who are taking notes, that's the first question on your note taker. Well, before I go into that, I first want to go over what you may think of the stock market so far. You may think of New York City. You may think of Wall Street. Wall Street is a real thing. It's actually a street. It's a street in the in the financial district of Lower Manhattan in New York City. And some of you may have even been there. You may have seen this bull on TV or online. This is, the unofficial name is that it's the Wall Street Bull. And it's a sign that the markets are on the rise and that the economy is strong, versus the opposite is a bear market. All right. There's a bull market and a bear market. Bull is up, bear is down. Or you may have heard of the New York Stock Exchange, the world's largest stock exchange by market capitalization. And that was founded in 1817. Now, if you know anyone who's a day trader or who trades stocks, you probably know that they wake up early on the West Coast. Why is that? Well, if you take a look at the standard operating times of the New York Stock Exchange, it's 9:30 to 4 p.m. on the East Coast. So since West Coast is 3 hours later, our time would be 6:30 to 1 p.m. That's why you see all the stocks usually close around 1 p.m. and open at 6:30. All right. You may have seen an app on your phone. That is the Stocks app. You may equate the stock market to good times and good thoughts, or some of you may equate it to tough times or sad thoughts, such as the 2008 stock crash. All right. So what is the stock market? And you may want to pause it here for those of you who are taking notes. The stock market is where investors collect to buy and sell investments, most commonly known as stocks, which are pretty much shares of ownership in a public company. So if you buy a stock in Apple, let's say, technically you are part owner of that company. But one stock out of all the stocks they have isn't probably much, but still it's a part of ownership in that company. And the source, I got to credit it here to nerdwallet.com. All right. The stock market is open to anyone. You don't need to be an investor to invest in the stock market. Now, depending on your state, please make sure you check. You may need to be 18 or 21 to actually open an online trading account. But once again, it's open to anybody. There are 3 major stock market indexes, and you may have heard of these. One's NASDAQ. The second one is Dow Jones. And then the third one is the Standard & Poor's 500 Index, or otherwise commonly called the S&P 500. Now, all of these are based on different stock pools, and they vary greatly in size and the number of companies. So please do your research when investing. And the source of this would be money.usnews.com. Right? Now, since I invest in the S&P 500 and I started investing in it at the age of 18, and now I'm 30, I have a lot of experience when it comes to this. So I'm going to quickly talk a little bit about what it is. You may hear about the S&P 500 as you grow up. The S&P 500 is a stock market index that is viewed as a measure of how well the stock is performing overall. Now, what is it? It's the 500 largest US companies. All right. Now, does it change? Absolutely. Every single day it changes depending on where that company ranks. Some enter it, some exit it, but it all depends on how that company is performing. The top US companies in the S&P 500, and I took this from Investopia from October 2020. It may change, and other sites may say different things, but in short, the top companies are Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Facebook, and Google. So these are like the top 5 companies. Now there's 500 companies. So 5 out of 500 isn't many, but these 5 companies make up about 15% of the overall market cap of the S&P 500. You may have heard of this acronym called FANG, right? It's Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, and Google. So I believe Netflix is a very top tech company, but that's just an acronym, but it doesn't include the top 5. It's just an acronym that you may hear of. Okay. What are the types of accounts used? By the way, anytime you see a star at the bottom left of the screen, that equates to a question on your notes. If for those of you who are taking notes. All right, here we go. So there's something called a brokerage account, and then there's something called a retirement account, which can be a 401k for private companies, a 403b for public employees like school employees like myself, and or a Roth account, depending on where you are at there. All right, let me grab the light real quick. All right, sorry, my lights turned off. All right, so let's quickly go down each of these and let's take a look at them. All right, so the brokerage account, it's an account for you to buy and sell stocks. It's kind of like a bank account for you to buy and sell stocks. You can buy and sell anytime. You can withdraw your money anytime. There are no contribution limits. So as long as you have the money, you can invest it. Okay, so that's your brokerage account. You must pay tax on the money earned. Let's say your stock went up $1 million and you wanted to get all $1 million immediately right now and you withdraw it. Then there will be something called capital gains, which you can look up on your own if you're interested. And that's a tax on the money that you earned from these investment accounts. I just want to quickly note here that anytime you talk about stocks, your money is not protected. Let's say you had a bank account at a commercial bank somewhere near here, like a popular bank, and that bank all of a sudden went under. Well, because of FDIC guidelines, you're insured that that money is safe. Well, let's say you invest all your money into a popular company, one company, and then all of a sudden that company goes down. Well, technically you can lose all your money. So in a way, it's kind of like gambling here. So you got to be careful when you invest money in stocks and in these accounts. Okay, that's a brokerage account. Now here's the retirement account, and here's where the majority of my investments lie. There's 401k, 403b, or Roth, and we'll talk a little bit about that in a bit. Now you can still choose to invest your money, however, so in any company, in a mutual fund, or anything like that, but you're saving for a different goal. Let's say a brokerage account, you're trying to get money right now. A retirement account, we're saving for our future. That will supplement our retirement later on. Now, in order to withdraw your money penalty-free, that you have to wait till 59 and a half years old to withdraw your money. Okay. By the way, if you're thinking about what do I write down for my notes, anything that sticks out to you, you don't have to write all this down. All right. Now, there are some tax incentives when it comes to these retirement accounts. Let's say you do a 401k. Then usually if you make money and you work for someone, you have to pay taxes on it. Well, there's an option that before you get your money, if you just want your money to go straight from your employer to your retirement account, then technically you don't have to pay taxes on it until later on. So you can look into that. That's a traditional retirement account. Or there's something called a Roth retirement account, which is my favorite. It's where we pay the taxes on it now. So let's say like I earn $100, but after tax, I get $85 or $80. Then I put that $80 or $85 into this brokerage account or this retirement account. Then that is post-tax dollars. And when I withdraw it later on, when I retire, I won't have to pay it. If you save on the taxes now, then later at 59 and a half, you're going to have to pay taxes on that money. So the big question is, would you rather pay taxes on it now, which is Roth, or would you rather pay taxes on it later when you retire, which is traditional? There are contribution limits depending on it. I believe the regular 401 and 403b is like 19,000 right now. And I believe the Roth is about 6 or maybe 7,000. So it all depends on that. And it all depends on your age as well. So look into that if you're more interested on that. Once again, for these retirement accounts, when you're investing in the stock market, your money is not protected, right? Now, okay. So here we go. Let's keep going. Here are some popular online trading platforms. There's Fidelity, there's Merrill Lynch, there's Ameritrade, Vanguard, Robinhood, Charles Schwab. I am not promoting any of these. I'm just listing a few because because you've probably heard of a few of these already. So please do your own research when you're selecting a company. Wow, that was a lot. And that portion right there took me a few hours to put together. Now, some of you may be thinking, why do I even need to learn about this right now? Well, let me give you an example. Here's a question for you. Who will have more money at 65 years old? And I took this straight from the Dave Ramsey website on how teens can become millionaires. So if you want to look more into that, please do so. There's two people. There's Ben. Let's say Ben, he put $2,000 per year from the age of 19 to 26. So 19 years old, 2,000 in. 20 years old, 2,000 in. 21, so every year he put 2,000 into this account. Over those 8 years, he put $16,000 in that account. Now, at 26, Ben goes, I've put enough money in there. I just want to enjoy my life. I'm not going to put any more money in there, but I'm going to leave it in that retirement account from 26 years old all the way now till 65 years old. Okay, 16,000, right? Who will make more money, Ben or Arthur? Arthur's a better saver. But Arthur took a little bit more time, let's say in school or to find a job that he really liked to do. Now, Arthur still put $2,000, but he put way more than Ben did. Arthur put $2,000 a year from 27 to 65 years old. Arthur's a better saver. He put $78,000 into his retirement account. Now, assuming that both of these accounts are earning 12% per year interest rate over the lifetime, 12% every single year, who will have more money at 65 years old? Now, instead of just telling you the answer, I want to show you the numbers and how it all works. Take a look. Ben, as I said, he started early. He went $2,000, and take a look at the end of the first year, 12% of $2,000 is $240 interest earned. So now he's at $2,240. The next year he earns another 12% on $2,240, which is now $4,749. At the end of it, he's at $27,000. Take a look at that. Now, Arthur just started his account. Will Arthur ever catch up? Take a look. Look at the numbers go up. Will Arthur on the right ever catch up? And the answer is no. Even though he put in $78,000 versus the 16, he'll never catch up because of this simple financial principle called compounding interest. All right, so I'll come back to this in a bit, but I want to show you the numbers here. So how much did Ben get from investing $16,000? $2.2 million versus Arthur earned $1.5 million, which is still a lot of money. So you can't go wrong either way as long as you have an account. But in short, that's the power of compounding interest. That is why people invest in the stock market. When bank accounts are getting 1% interest, you can earn sometimes even way more than that, depending on what you invest in. All right, so go and write that down if you're taking notes. All right, so let's continue here. Some of you are like, wait a minute, 12%? No. On average, the S&P over the past, 100 years has averaged probably around 7%. Then why are we using 12%? I believe 12% is an okay number to use because according to last Friday, so yesterday, the S&P 500 recorded $3,700 trading, but take a look at the bottom numbers. Over the past year, including the coronavirus pandemic, from today, which is December, all the way till for the past 12 months, the S&P has returned 14.81%. Wow. Over the past, let me see, make sure I see it down here. One moment. Let me just make sure I do that. Over the past 5 years, it's returned 12.91. And then over the past 10 years, it's returned 11.52. Okay. So once again, these are still very high numbers on average. A good year for me is like 7%, right? So yeah, some years may be higher, but then some years also may be lower. So you have to be careful of that. Now I want to go back here. When do you make the most money when it comes to investing? The last years. Take a look again. Once again, Ben only earned $240. That's it from investing $2,000. But look at the very end. Take a look at that last year from 64 to 65. He earned about almost $200,000, $240,000. So this is a long game when it comes to retirement, but I'm willing to play the long game because I know that one day it's going to benefit me later on. Okay. So take a look at that if you're still interested. Always remember, more risk equals more return. Less risk equals less return. For me, this is my personal investing strategy. When I'm young, I can take more risk. As I near retirement age, as I'm about to pull money out from the accounts, I'm gonna start switching it from a more risk account to a less risk investment. All right, so look into that, and yeah, I hope this is interesting. Please join us for day 2 tomorrow. I'm so excited to talk to you about credit cards and debit cards, and I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe to my channel, hit that like button, and set up notifications. Why? Not for me, so that we can reach and educate even more students out there on these important concepts. Thank you so much. This video has taken me way too long to make, including the slides, but it's all worth it. As long as one of you or 2 of you has been impacted by this and encouraged and inspired, then my job is done. Thank you, everybody, for watching. And I really, really hope that you continue with us.